people are not bound by events. It's bound by the way you see it. It means being imprisoned by your own thoughts and perceptions. The biggest prison in the world is the human mind. Everyone lives in a prison. To think of your own cognitive cage, similar. All suffering from the outside is to remind us that it's time to break the shackles of your thinking. But actually, very few people can wake up. We often say that a person awakens because the 1% is another person's reminder. 99% of it is due to life's wounds. Many people would rather borrow hundreds of millions to go for plastic surgery. It's more than raising your mind and your awareness. Let's take another example. If you put a banana and money in front of a monkey, he'll definitely choose bananas because it doesn't know that money can buy a lot of bananas. We laugh at the monkey's stupidity, but actually we often make mistakes. Same for example, if you put money and consciousness in front of people, most people will choose money because so many people don't know that consciousness can not only be changed, take more money, it also brings happiness and health. Humans are like monkeys, always fascinated by the small interest in front of you. This is a fundamental property of animals, without wanting to ponder what's deep behind. And 99% of people still have this property. It's even dazed in there. You can't be the 1% forever. How to be 1% of these people? Understand who is wise. Understand that you are wise. Winning is beneficial. To win is to be strong enough to know yourself. Surpassing yourself is a characteristic of this 1% of people. First of all, this is a hard truth to understand. The hardest thing to see in life is yourself. Even if we look in the mirror, image in the mirror, I'm not sure who we really are, because there's a physical principle called the asymmetric principle. How to see yourself. It's only when we VA into something that reacts. Then at that time, we can feel and see ourselves. That's the best way to see yourself. See others as mirrors. Our inner reflection. All the desires, the ambition of stupidity, or the negative emotions we see. It's all a reflection from within.
Nếu chúng ta không
If we
chấp
don't
nhận
accept
hoặc
or like
không thích
something,
điều gì,
it
điều đó
means that
có
our
nghĩa
inner
là nội
self,
tâm của chúng ta
something
đang
is
thiếu một
missing.
điều gì đó.
For example, when we are upset with others, when they show off their affection, maybe it's because we lack love in our hearts. See others boast, we can get frustrated because we're not confident enough inside. When you see others suffer, we sympathize because there are tears in my
Khi một
heart.
điều gì đó xuất
When
hiện trước
something
mắt,
appears in
chúng
front
ta
of
nên
you,
ngay lập tức
we
quan
should
sát lại
immediately
bản thân.
re-examine ourselves. Why do I have this feeling? Where my inner self is missing? What others annoy us the most? It's often something we can't stand. Ourselves, but we refuse to admit it. So the people and things that we hate, envy and hatred, it will go on and on until we accept it. This is actually, it's how the world forces us to accept ourselves. External phenomena that make us uncomfortable to appear is to make us more complete. The important thing is whether we can realize this in time. More resistant to these conflicts, the unpleasant experience will last longer and increase. When we turn inward to realize your own problems, we will reconcile with ourselves, and conflict with the outside world will also disappear. The real reconciliation is reconciliation with yourself. As we move through the outside world, to look at myself, see and perfect yourself, and accept who you are. It's time to accept the world. It's a state of fullness from within. When it comes to this stage, you will be one of the special 1%. When your inner self is more consistent than any other AI, courage, determination, and action, hard work, and uncompromising self-discipline. At the same time, outside is more feminine than any woman. Radiant, tender sensitivity and observation. Take the need to win, from which no AI in the world can be your rival. Everybody remember, the future of humanity will be divided into two categories. The first is that 99% of people live by instinct. That's the normal majority. People who surf every day watching short videos, follow the game live stream, shopping for counterfeit products. They act as negative audiences in society. These people are just consumers of social resources. Their only contribution to society is to fit the mechanism. Algorithms become part of big data. The second category is the 1% who go against their instincts, who retain independent thinking. Highly disciplined and constantly improving, algorithms can't control them the other way around. They can see through the algorithm to grasp the social laws of truth, and truth to be social leaders. Anti-hypocrisy, weak hypocrisy, used. AIs can do the opposite of human instinct. They're all brilliant people. Be that 1% special. So when you've become this 1%, how to control other people? Remember the golden rule. Just say a few words. Or maybe you can convince 50% of people. Giving a little benefit will capture 70% of people. Say a few good words and give more benefits. You will convince 90% of people. Take advantage of all human weaknesses. Said at the right time. Give the right benefits and you will control 99% of people. Remember this sentence. That's your reserve in controlling other people. If you've done all this, you can't convince the enemy. They belong to the other 1%. When two people in the 1% meet, it's the most amazing thing in the world. What is fate? This is what completely disrupts your perception of evil. No need for a reason. You're naturally better at that. Mission is what you were born to do. Whether in life or in your dreams, you want to do it. No one will give you any words. What do you still want to do? Mission and endowment are the two main channels connected to the ego. They are also the two main channels to connect with the world, because these are innate things. They come from our past lives. Only they can connect to the self. And with premium space, once you open these two channels, we can easy to receive energy from space. It's easy to achieve success and stay true to yourself. The true destination of life. It's a combination of grace and mission. There's a saying that if you raise your head 3 feet, there's a God. That God is the true self. Always silently observe your every action from above. Socrates used to say, understand yourself. There is a saying in the Bible, he who is wise knows himself to be wise. It's a reminder to us that you must find your God, the essence of goodness. So for the most part, we are caught up in the superficial values of the world, live in the eyes of others, living according to the standards set by society, and live in the satisfaction of individual desires. So we're moving further and further away from our true selves. People who live like that, no matter how hard they try, how successful is it? I can't be happy in the end. For in the depths of the soul, there is a calling. This is not what we wanted. The unfortunate thing is, most people don't get these reminders. From school, teachers or parents, the most important thing in life is to understand yourself. My personality, Raiseo. What is my genius? How should I set my mind? We're trained as standard parts. To then hobby. Talent and personality are eroded little by little, until you're caught up in the social machine, become assimilated and lose themselves. Everything in society seems designed to crush our ego. We're driven forward by an invisible force, maturing according to the standards of society, constantly ignoring its own characteristics, and finally lose yourself. Even when some people wake up, find a way out of feeling oppressed, only 1% actually succeed. The remaining 99% is completely destroyed. Even if you graduate with outstanding performance and have a high-paying job, but the pressure is high, if that's not what you really want to do, sooner or later you're going to leave it because you're depressed. If you study science and engineering, but your real passion is creativity, sooner or later you will have free time to create, and maybe because you're good at it, you quit your job. All the ambiguity, anxiety, and depression in life, it all comes from the fact that we're moving further and further away from the self. Let's try to think about our lives. There's always a big net over us. I can't get out my whole life. We call that destiny. It's because we are not aware of the existence of self, so we always feel in control. They don't know if they're controlled by AI. Kai Jung said an important sentence. When the subconscious is cleared, the fate is changed. That is when you find your true self and talk. Reconcile with it. You will no longer be controlled by it. That will live in harmony with it. Then the concept of fate will no longer exist. Perception is much harder to change. When you get conscious, the subconscious will automatically begin to change.